Welcome to our Devos, and this week it has been our challenge to be an encourager. And there's so many different ways that the Bible gives us that we can encourage those around us. But today, I want to focus on one final piece of advice that I believe is absolutely vital if you want to encourage someone. And this is one that, frankly, we all are going to struggle with when it comes to encouraging people because we forget. Time gets away from us. We have good intentions, but poor execution. And it falls under something I call say it now. Say it now. One of the most memorable moments that I ever had in ministry happened, and I've told this story in church, and it's still one of those stories that sticks with me even to this day. I remember it very vividly. I had just started working for the church. I had taken a role that was kind of too big for me as the assistant pastor, and at that point, they made it a pastoral intern because I was so young. I was only 21 years old. And I remember, speaking and doing announcements and doing music and doing ministry, and then I would constantly feel bad about myself. I felt like I was unqualified. I felt like I was, novice. I felt like I didn't know enough about the Bible, all of those things, which were probably true, but I really tried as hard as I could to do the best at everything that I could. Well, one of the board members that was involved in hiring me to the church caught me outside of my office in between one of the services, and he said, "Hey, I want to talk to you." And I got that sick feeling in the pit of my stomach, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, here's a board member, he's been at the church forever, he's going to tell me how much I stink at my job, and I expected it. And he pulled me into my office, and he said, "I want you to know that the whole entire board thinks you are the absolute best person to be in this role than anyone in the world. We know that this is what God wants, and we are completely confident in you." Okay? Just a one-way conversation. I said, "Thanks." He left my office, and I cried because grown men cry. I don't care what anyone says. I cried because I just couldn't believe it. I was overwhelmed that he took the time to say that now. And also on top of it, because I had so much insecurity about where I was to be. Now, did he have any idea about that insecurity? I would say he didn't. But what I'm going to tell you is this. There are people in your life right now, and they're having a hard time, and no one knows that they are. There are people in your life right now that simply have just such a need to be built up and to be encouraged, but nobody's doing it. The challenge for you is this. I want you to think of it this way. God may want to use you to say the most encouraging thing that has ever been spoken to them. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool if at the end of their life they have that in their statement about you, that you said the nicest thing that they've ever heard? I mean, there are times that I've encouraged couples that are in counseling and they've said, "No one's ever encouraged us the way that you do." And I don't realize that I'm anything special, but what I do realize is that sometimes life can be fairly discouraging. And sometimes as people, we say a lot of terrible things to one another. So I want you to be the person that says the thing that needs to be said right now, the good thing. We all want to say the bad thing. We all want to talk about the bad thing. But I want to encourage you to say something that's encouraging to someone that may change their whole life. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 11. "A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver." Picture that beautiful setting, the perfection, the symmetry of those apples of gold. This painting, this portrait is being set. That's what it's like when you take the time to say it now, to encourage someone now, to reach out to them now and let them know how you feel about them. You have no idea the impact you will make. So just do it. Don't wait another day. Just do it. Become that person that is constantly looking to be an outpouring of encouragement for those around you. This is the way Jesus was. This is what he encouraged, and the only way that we can do this is if we take the focus off of ourselves and we turn the spotlight outward to look to those around us. And when we encourage other people, we ourselves will become encouraged.